Hi guys, it's Jen here at Check Her Joy, and this time I'm reviewing How to Be a Woman by Caitlin Moran. This is a non-fiction memoir type book about her experiences in finding out and discovering how to be a woman, and her views on feminism and society, and why we still need feminism. Basically this is about why you should be a feminist and how we treat women and how society views women, and what being an adult and an actual grown woman means. First off, we're going to get my bone to pick with this book just completely out of the way. There is an entire chapter on here called I Am a Feminist and why you should be a feminist, and it's awesome except for this one section where she's like, if you don't know whether or not you're a feminist, you should put your hand into your underpants and ask yourself these two questions. And they are, do you have a vagina, and do you want to be in charge of it? And if you said yes to both of them, then congratulations, you're a feminist. Which just seems so not enough, is my thing. Like, first off, guys can be feminists too, so having a vagina has nothing to do with whether or not you're a feminist. Like, that's not it. It helps to be a woman. Like, if you're a woman and you're not a feminist, then there's something wrong with you. Like, why do you not think women should have choices? Like, even if you want to live a very traditional conservative life where you submit to your husband and all, that should be your choice though, and you shouldn't just make every woman do that because that's what you want to do. Like, I mean, like, no problems if that's what you want out of your life. Like, go for it. But, I don't know. And the other thing is, do you want to be in charge of it? Meaning, do you want to be in charge of your vagina? Which, well, yes, I would like to be in charge of my own body. Thank you. But I also think that we need to, it's so much more than that. Like, it's about being in charge of your money and your career and your life goals and what it is you want out of your relationships and your family. And it's not just about being in charge of your body. Like, owning your body and having choices about your body is like the minimum, I think, but I think feminism is about way more than that. So there is my gripe with the book. I got it out of the way. There we go, guys. Okay, I'm good now. I'm good. The rest of the book I kind of love and adore. She does talk a lot about society, and she starts off with going through puberty and her teenage years and what it's like at 13 to get your first period out of the blue, and kind of getting like completely sideswept by it. And even as somebody who like knew what a period was beforehand and like gone through all the textbook stuff, still getting it, it's just you're not prepared for that. Like, that's just such a huge change in going through puberty, and it's so awkward, such an awkward time. But she also puts really funny anecdotes in here, like how she used pads as like mattresses for her Barbie dolls, like clean ones that weren't used, but like they're these white fluffy things that are about the size of the dolls, at least the ones she had. So I thought that was just like really funny, and there are a lot of like comedic touches like that in this book. But she also talks about her view of herself like at 13 and what she thought being a woman meant versus what she feels like being a woman, like what she thinks being a woman is at like 35 when she's writing the book. Like, that changes, like all these life experiences, which is cool. I love that part. She deals a lot with sexuality, from her first experiences about being aroused as a teenager and figuring out what turns her on and what doesn't, and exploring things like books and movies and stuff in the late 80s. I think it was late 80s. But like how those kind of things influenced her image of what sex was and what romance was. And she talks about like having celebrity crushes, and she talks about like masturbating and stuff, and how those are like, masturbating is a decision whether or not you're gonna do that or stuff. And whether or not you should wax or shave all the body hair off you, whether you keep it under your underarms or not, or whether you shave your legs or not, or whether you wax the bikini area or not. That's all like decisions that we make and what that says about us. And why we do it and why society expects that from us, which is just so crazy to think about. Like, I don't know that there's that much pressure on us, I guess. She even discusses like, what do you call your breasts and your vagina and why that's like what that says about you, and not that there's a right or a wrong, but like it's kind of an awkward thing that we don't typically like discuss. Like, it seems so weird that these things are taboo in our society, that we don't just openly discuss them. Like, maybe we get drunk and discuss them with like a close group of friends or like our actual sisters, but not like at large. She spends a bit of time talking about body image and expectations, and about how being fat is like the absolute worst thing you can call a woman. And like, if you're massively overweight, being called fat is just completely insensitive and rude, like, no matter what. But also, like, even if you're like a size 2 and you get called fat, you still, like, it still is in the back of your head that, oh man, I need to lose more weight and I need more muscle. Or even like if you're very muscular, like, I just don't call women fat, guys, okay? Just don't. Men, women, whatever, don't call each other fat. There's a lot in here about clothes and fashion. So, like, the difference between clothes versus fashion. So fashion is meant to look good in a picture or on a runway on a certain imaginary type of girl, but it's not really functional for our day-to-day life, whereas clothes kind of are. Although I'm sure somebody in the fashion industry would argue otherwise. She talks about the importance of, like, proper underwear and how that can change your view of yourself and your situations. And, like, decision to wear heels or not, or spend $600 on a handbag. Like, covers all of that, man. All of that. That's what you're into. It's in here. She talks about sexism and how society views women, how the paparazzi tracks down celebrities, and the headlines about women. Even women who are powerful and influential still get, like, their relationships torn apart in a way that guys don't. And, like, the big question of whether or not they're going to have kids or when they're going to have kids. Like, it's not really relevant to whether or not you're writing a book or you're singing a song or something. She talks about our role models and how we view other women, and about princesses and how, like, we have this, as children, we all have, like, this princess obsession, or a lot of us have princess obsessions, and how it's about having stuff given to you and done for you, and how you're kind of just a passenger in your life, whereas we should be more active in it. She talks about love and marriage and relationships, obviously, and about weddings, the whole giant expectations of weddings and bachelor parties and bachelorette nights and all of that crazy, crazy stuff with weddings. And even about having children, whether or not you should have children or whether you decide not to have children, and why, and, like, both sides of that argument. And she talks about abortion, which is an interesting thought in here, because she had an abortion after she'd already had 2 kids, like, as a mother, still married, like, which is so not, like, what we think of when we think of abortion. We normally think of, like, teenage girls or rape victims or just women who aren't gonna be mothers, not someone who already is one. So that was interesting. So yeah, lots and lots and lots of topics. Lots of stuff going on in this book. Just everything you could possibly want to know about being a woman, pretty much. I love this book and its take on feminism and society. And it was fun, and I'm super glad I read it. So I think you should all read it also, whether you're a woman or a man, or you're a girl or a boy or whatever. You can teenager read this, totally, it's fine. Yeah, man, woman, whatever, read this book. Yeah. Peace out. I love you guys, and keep reading. Bye.